When you think about a car that pays homage to a classic car that is well loved by the people that owned it, you might think of some kind of supercars, but you might not think of the Subaru BRZ. Hello everyone, my name is Paul Fix III and welcome to another episode of The Car Coach. Here we have the 2018 Subaru BRZ. And this is a slightly different design than previous years. They've added some funky designs to the headlights, bringing it more in line with the rest of the brand, some more aerodynamic features and a cool wing, a couple updates on the interior, and for the first time ever, Brembo brakes, which is excellent. It's a classic American staple for a Japanese car. A little unusual, but definitely welcome. There's also an increase in horsepower. We are looking at 205 horsepower for the manual transmission and 200 horsepower for the automatic. Now look at this cool wing. I'm not sure exactly how functional it is, but it definitely adds to the boy racer look, which Subaru seems to have down pat. Now, the exhaust note here sounds absolutely fantastic, and when you're inside the vehicle, you have that guttural feeling of, yes, I'm in a fast sports car, which is exactly what you want. Now let's take a ride around town and we'll see how it handles, how it feels, and maybe you'll like it as much as I do. As I sit inside the BRZ, I'm reminded of where it comes from. In 1983, Toyota started to build the Corolla 11 and the Sprinter Trueno, and it looks like this. So this car doesn't quite look the same anymore, but it has the charm. There's a lot of people that modify these vehicles into drift cars, and that is a part of the culture that's still well alive today. So the AE86 was the name of the model, and Toyota brought that back a couple of years ago as the GT86 in Europe, as the Scion FRS, which is now defunct. Toyota picked it back up as the Toyota 86, and they had a partnership with Subaru, and they called it the BRZ. So that's what we have today. That's where the history is. Now let's take it for a ride. This car is torquey. I think that's one of the appeals of the BRZ. You can kick it around, and it's aggressive and tight, loud, obviously. But I think really where the appeal lies is that Subaru makes very good, very tight, street racer kind of cars, and the BRZ is just another one of them. One of the most glaring observations you can make in BRZ or the Toyota 86 or any of its competitors is, there's no navigation or complicated infotainment system or really in-depth climate control system, and you might think, oh, why is that? And the answer is because it's just not necessary. You're buying this car because it's fun, because it's affordable, and because it's offering what you're looking for while not having all the extra little bits that aren't necessary. When we got this car, I was so excited that it's a manual because automatics just don't do it when you're driving a real purebred sports car. It's that kind of like, it's that feeling of independence and control. And I think that is really exciting when it comes to little cars like this. The manual transmission is tight, not as tight as per se the WRX STI, which is a brutal transmission, very difficult to shift, but obviously you can get used to it very quickly, especially if you own it for about a month. The seating position is a little uncomfortable. I feel like it's made for people that are pretty short. Now, I mean, I'm tall, but I'm not terribly tall. Just shy of 6 feet. And I feel like this seat was made for someone who's maybe like 5 feet tall. It's strange how the steering wheel, well, it does telescope, which means it's Paul Fix approved. it doesn't telescope out far enough, which means I have to pull the seat pretty close in order to drive it normally. This car is not Lauren Fix approved. It does not have lumbar on the other side, unfortunately. But that's one of the trade-offs when you're looking at the price range. This car is tons of fun. Like I mentioned, lots of torque. Now it's 200 horsepower on the automatic, 205 horsepower on the manual, which I think is something to do with maybe the power placement due to the transmission and the drivetrain, but that's really beside the point. This car is great for doing things like this. Subaru puts this vehicle up against the likes of the Camaro and the Miata and the Toyota 86. So how does it stack up? It's debatable. Subaru, while having a good reputation for making reliable vehicles that are lots of fun and very sporty, it seems as though a lot of its competition has a better reputation for some of those things. At least you could argue that. So I think in some cases the V6 Camaro, that is, beats it out on power and maybe not so much in the fun department, because I think light, small, aerodynamic vehicles will always be more fun. And then the Miata, which is even lighter with even less horsepower. So this is a weird segment. Even the 370Z could technically fit into this segment. It's a funky one, but if you're interested, I highly recommend you just go out and do your own research, drive around a couple different cars, see what you think, and of course, let us know in the comments below if you've driven the BRZ, if you own a BRZ, or any of its competition. Tell us why you bought the car, or why you're interested. We'd love to hear your thoughts. One of the things I wanted to mention was the torque curve. Now, this is what a torque curve is supposed to look like. And this is what the BRZ's torque curve looks like. Now you can see it looks a little odd. The torque is kind of all over the place, and you really feel that when you put your foot into it, and you don't get all of the power immediately. However, if you can match up the torque curves just right and shift at exactly the right time, you can get a very satisfying drive out of this little car. Would I buy the BRZ? I don't think so. But do I like it? Oh my gosh, yes I do. And if you're a Subaru fan, I'm sure that you will love it too. However, I think that there's some other vehicles that are in this segment that definitely warrant a good look. So, if you're interested in the BRZ, go check out the competition, see what the different vehicles drive like, find out what's best for you. And for me, I'm gonna drive the pants off of this while I got it.